Can we start? Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Joshua Dairo, be the group leader for this group discussion. And starting by, I would like to introduce the members we have today. We have Kent, we have Ruth, Shak, Rachel, and Sandra. So before we begin, I'd like to set a few ground rules so that everybody knows the expectations. First of all, I'd like all of you to respect all opinions. I want one person speaking at a time, and I would like contributions to be concise because of the time. And then I want you to use evidence-based sharings, and then stay within the allocated time of 2 minutes. Then before we go on ahead, I'd like to assign a few roles to some of the team members. He'll be our timekeeper, should be our secretary, and well, you know the rest. He will be sharing number 1 will be Rachel, number 2 will be Shak, number 3 will be Kent, number 4 will be Ruth, and number 5 will be shared by Sandra. So before we start, I'd like again to introduce today's topic. Today we are hoping to discuss whether data privacy policies should apply to social media platforms and how the Rwanda Development Board can protect intellectual property and personal data while at the same time respecting freedom of expression. Some of the objectives that we want to achieve today is we want to see how risks can be applied, how policies can be applied, and some recommended solutions so that we can also come up with the implementation strategies. So for the number 1, which says what are the main risks of sharing personal or intellectual property information on social media without privacy protections, I'd like Rachel to share with us. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Rachel, and I'm going to talk about the question 1, which says the risk that comes from the sharing of different on social media without privacy protection. The risk number 1 is about the identity theft and the cybercrime. According to International Telecommunication Union, they say that if you share the personal information without protecting them, they can cause the risk that affect you in your future career. For instance, if you share your personal information like your full name, date of birth, phone number, location, ID information, and personal photo, it may affect you because the thief can use your information to steal your money, to open the fake account in your name, and also steal your money. The risk number 2 is intellectual property theft. According to World Intellectual Property Organization, they say that if you share the personal information without protecting, it may cause them the intellectual property may lose the value like business idea, invention, research, software codes, and music design. The risk number 3 is data misuse and profiling. When the social media platform collect information about you, they can check what you like, what you comment on, what you search for. This information used for targeting advertisements and influencing your decision. The risk number 4 is the loss of business value. If you share business plan, product design, and new idea, it may affect you because competitors can copy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rachel. Before we go on ahead, I'd like to remind you that you all have 2 minutes, so you're supposed to share in those 2 minutes, and also be very much audible so that we can have your voice, not the video. And then if there is any question before we go on ahead, this is the time to ask the question. Is there any question? I guess not. So we'll move on to the second question, which says, should social media platforms follow the same data privacy policies as other digital services? Why and why not? What's number 2? Yes, Michelle, please go on ahead and be audible. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I think on my side, they should be for the data rules as other platforms does. Because, for instance, let's talk about TikTok measures. On TikTok, you can't post anything you just want, because this is the platform where everyone is is watching what you do, watch what are the content you are providing to the community. So
Yes.
it must be something that people must learn from it. So especially we have this thing of underage measures that whereby today's generation they are on social media platforms. So we must watch ourselves what we are being published on the social media, so that even those teenagers must learn from what we are from our content. So
Yes.
I think it's the best for other platforms to follow the rules that are being put on the platform, so that we can put we can be more careful for what we are being created on our platforms, because on the platforms this is where we see our location codes, the numbers of the people. So we must be careful so that they can't be, for instance, they can a person must not be scammed on his or her social media.
All right, so thank you, Mashak, for keeping the time. And that's I like the point you brought in about children keeping the young kids away from social media because of the harmful content that might be online, the sexual, stuff that you don't want kids to be involved in when they are still young. Is there any question before we go on ahead? I think Meshach was very clear on this point. Now, the third question. Who was on the third question? Yes, Kent. How can stakeholders be educated to protect intellectual property and personal data? Please, guys.
Thank you very much. Some of the recommendations we will give to the stakeholders in terms of education.
Yeah.
I would start with university digital literacy campaign. So these are ways universities can be provided with experienced people to provide that education to raise awareness within university students. Yes. We have that idea of privacy, data privacy, and what they put on their social media, especially now that social media is a big part of what we do every day. Secondly, it's the intellectual property awareness before public disclosure. You have to help someone to be aware of what he or she is going to post before they post it. And we have seen how sometimes people may claim other people's property. So this awareness helps them to know the value of what they have created and to protect it from being, claimed by people outside that stakeholder. Yeah. And the third one is clear privacy setting tutorials. You have to set tutorials that are clear on how the privacy settings are. We have seen when you log into some sites, they ask you about the privacy materials. They provide options that like accept or not accept. So if you accept, then you move through. So that's like accepting that you're going to, with the privacy settings, you have allowed to expose your data. And lastly, partnering with innovation hubs, as it was stated by the Organization of Economic and Cooperation Development.
Yes.
It emphasized that digital literacy is very critical in online safety in today's world. Thank you.
All right, so thank you, Ken, for sharing. Maybe if I can share more light. Is there anybody who can share more light on IP awareness? Intellectual property, this is something that's been invented for the first time. So if you don't can register or claim it, somebody else can claim it. If it's social media, if it's a song, you release a song, you're supposed to have an IP ID for it. Because if you don't, some other person can claim it. You don't want that. So if we had more time, I would want Ken to share more on how these programs can be made more sustainable rather than one-time workshops, but we don't have the time. Maybe with that, we'll save that for the next meeting. Now, I think I'll go to the next question, which is question 4. Who's the one doing question 4? Yes, Peru. What responsibilities do social media companies have in safeguarding user data? Please make sure you keep the time beyond going.
So thank you, Joshua. So what I say is like the social media platform has a big responsibilities
Yes.
because we really they trust in them. So one of the most responsibility is data minimization.
Yes.
Here, the social media platform should collect the data which is really needed.
Yes.
Like if you collect the personal data, don't go beyond his or her personal life. Another is transparent and consistent. Here, the users should know what data is collected and how data is used.
Yes.
Another is the social media companies must keep safe data and be far from hackers. Here, they must use a strong security keys, passwords for the personal details. And also they have accountability and mechanisms. Here the platform must take responsibilities when things go wrong and work with any regulations to solve the problems. And according to United Nations Guidance Principles on Business and Human Rights, says that a business must respect the human right, including right of privacy.
Yes.
So, as a conclusion, I would like to speak like because of social media platforms affect millions of users, they should receive bigger penalties when they fail to protect the user data compared to the small digital service. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ruth, for your sharing. Thank you for your time. That's a good thing. I like the part about encryption. I think that it should be hard for hackers to hack into those social media platforms because they can steal personal information, which is bad. And then going forward, I think we'll be discussing the last question, which is for Sandra. Sandra, will you please share some light on the question that goes, how can RDB, the Rwanda Development Board, balance freedom of expression, privacy, and intellectual property protection? Thank you.
Okay, this RDB trying to balance this freedom of expression with privacy and intellectual property protection. They could follow this three strategies. Like the first one, trying to recognize that freedom of expression and this privacy policy that I think should go in tandem. Like they should try to balance them sometimes, but prioritizing it. So the second should right. So the second, they should try to apply the principle of proportionality by. Okay, so the second, they should try to apply the principle of proportionality by trying to resonate the regulations that they've set so that they can be helpful to the people trying to follow them. And then the third would be clearly defining what is prohibited and what is legally accepted so that you prevent harmful prevention. The fourth would be to promote platform accountability so that the platforms should try to be accountable for what they're doing instead of the RDB handling it, the social medias itself, trying to give the job to the platform. The fifth would be to strengthen digital literacy and IP awareness to the people because people are being conflicting with this because they're not aware of what they should do, what they should.
So thank you, Sandra, for sharing. And I think now everybody has an understanding of what our scenario was all about, the risks that we face, the risks that people use social media face, how different data privacy policies and other digital services can, do it in a way that intellectual property is protected, and how can stakeholders also protect intellectual property and personal data online. So I think, thank you for everyone who has shared. Maybe before we conclude, I'd like to share, a few things that I think now we've agreed upon in our discussion. The first thing is that social media platforms should indeed follow national data privacy policies, right? If it's TikTok operating from China or the US, it should still follow the guidelines put in place by the government of Rwanda. Intellectual property risks are very significant just because somebody's a new musician artist coming out, it's still upcoming, doesn't mean you can, just take his IP or steal his content. The other thing is digital education must be strengthened in universities, in high schools, and all other learning institutions. And every platform should be held accountable in case something does go wrong. And then also that regulation should balance privacy and freedom of expression. As much as we want to protect the populations or the mass from data privacy issues, they should still be allowed the right to express themselves, because that's their right. In conclusion, while users may voluntarily share information online, it does not eliminate the responsibility of platforms and government institutions to regulate and protect personal data. So RDB must indeed adopt a balanced, evidence-based approach that ensures innovation, privacy, and freedom of expression coexist responsibly. Thank you very much. Thank you to Meshach. Thank you to Ruth, Kent, and Rachel, and Sandra. That was today's discussions. Thank you very much.